Hi guys, you joining me as I'm getting ready to go on a stalking session on the A1 pits, just a day session. The key to day stalking is to get there nice and early. Make sure you beat everybody else, find out where the fish are. Unfortunately I didn't bother getting up, so let's get the team made and let's get on. First stop on any day session is always a trip to the local maggot farm. Anything from 4 to 8 pints is essential to keep them fish feeding over your spots. Today, unfortunately I'm a bit late up, so 4 pints should be plenty. Okay guys, well we've arrived at the A1 pits, parked up between 2 and 3. I normally have a quick look down between 2 and 3 if there's nobody there, which there isn't. There's also no fish down there at the minute. The wind's blowing the opposite way down onto the A1 bank, which is not really fishable on pit 3. Certainly not bivvied up, you're not allowed to, but there's nobody in the 2 end pegs, but it's really weedy close in, so that's kind of out the window there. Baited a couple of spots on pit 3 on the split bank. We'll leave that to soak and see what happens later. Also had a look on a couple of spots on pit 4, especially where the wind's blowing. You just know there's going to be fish there, and there is. There is a few lads bivvied up, but that's day ticket fishing for you. Let's get round there and see what we can do. Okay guys, so I've pitched up in the far corner of 4. The wind's blowing in here. It's not really strong wind, but it's certainly pushing some fish in. There's a couple of fish already got on the maggots, so I'm going to get a rig in there and see what we can do. So guys, I'm in the corner of pit 4. Apologies for any A1 noise you can hear in the background. I'm right next to the A1, so A1 one side, train line the other. You just have to live with these evils at the A1 pits. Just before I swing the rig into the margin, just like to show you exactly what I'm using. You can see there I've got a 20-pound quarter IQ down to a size 5 stiff rigger. And you've seen by now what I do with these. I've got a piece of foam with 5 maggots glued to it. If you can see that there. Now what's happening there is that foam is just balancing the hook on the bottom, so the hook's flat, but the foam just sits above it. And then 5 maggots, hopefully enticing the carp into feeding. I've got a flat inline lead. I've got it set up for quick release. I don't want that banging around and pulling the hook out of the fish's mouth, because I'm fishing so close in. I want that to eject on the take, and it's just me connected to the fish. The only other thing I'm going to do, I've already put bait in. I'm not going to add any more bait. I'm just going to swing the rig in. I'm going to stick nugget of foam. It's quite deep here. I just want to watch it on the way down, make sure it's not going over any twigs or detritus. And that's it. That's the rig. Let's get it in. Well guys, we're going to have to move. Been royally mugged off by all the perch in the corner. Vastly underestimated how many perch are in this lake at the minute. As I said, I only swung the hook bait out, and as soon as it dropped to the bottom, the perch were straight on it. Now sometimes they just drop down and guard it, but obviously this time they were sucking the maggot straight off. After half an hour I pulled the rig back in, and there was literally nothing left of it, just the foam and some stub ends. So I dropped it back in again and put 2 good handfuls of bait over it this time, just to try and keep the perch at bay. But the carp have been going over the top of me, but they just know something's wrong. It's so bright in this corner at the minute, and there isn't that much wind. It's kind of moved onto the A1 bank, so I'm going to leave the spot. I might come back at tea time onwards when the sun's moved round and it's not right in this corner. There's a bit more shade. I'm going to go and have a look at another spot in another corner and see what we can do. Right, so I've come up into this other corner of pit 4. I just felt like it wasn't happening down the other end. There was far too much sunshine. The problem is the wind's dropping. It's not ideal for stalking today. There's a lot of fish on the top. Just having a look at the rig, a couple of things I didn't mention to you. You just notice the hook there, because it's so bright, I've just got a Sharpie pen and coloured it in. I don't know if it makes any difference, but everything's got to help. I've got my drop-off inline lead, and then just down the line I've got 2 bits of mouse drop-in putty. Probably the second one a maximum of 1 metre from the rig, just to keep everything pinned down, because the only slack line I've got is between that last bit of putty and the rod tip. Right, as you can probably gather, I've moved again. There's just no wind on the smaller pits. The fish are just either sat in the trees or sunning themselves out in the middle. So I put some bait in the corner of pit 5, which is getting a lot more wind due to its size. A couple of hours ago, and I came past about an hour ago, just before I went into that top corner of 4. And I just stayed here for 5 minutes, and I actually saw 2 fish swim by. Now, I don't know if they were feeding, so I put another good couple of handfuls of bait in. I've just come back now and they're all over it. They're literally a foot from the bank. My biggest problem is going to be getting a rig in. But I'm going to set up, hopefully wait till they drift off, and then just lower the rig in. My only concern with this lake is it's an absolute perch nightmare. Bearing in mind the problems I've already had on pit 4. Pit 5 is 5 times worse. But if I can get one out of here, I'll be well happy with that. See how we get on. The case of the problem I've got is the fish just won't leave the spot, so good old maggots. Got to try and throw a couple of handfuls in and hopefully temporarily spook them out of the way so I can just lower the rig in. There's several fish and they're just literally sat 2 foot from the bank. They just won't move, so nothing else to lose. The footage you see him now, I've purposely left and not edited. This is in real time, just to show you that when you get your bait in and rig, everything absolutely spot on. The exact scenario you're about to see can happen. A really quick bite. I'm in instantly. God. It's a massive scaled mirror. Oh my God. I literally can't believe it. I've lowered the rigging and I'm sure I bounced it off a carp on the way down. I literally didn't have time to lay the rod on the floor and there's a massive boil in the water in front of me. And this absolute beautifully scaled carp has picked the rig up instantly the minute it hit the bottom. Unbelievable. It must have just been sat there. I must have dropped it next to it. Oh, I just can't believe it. I think I may have scared the rest out of the swim though. Let's deal with it. Wow. Check that out. 29 pounds 7 ounces. Pristine mirror. Caught from pit 5. 1 foot from the margin. Literally took my bait straight away. I must have dropped it on its head. I can't believe it. I've struggled all day on pit 4. I've been feeding this corner on 5. And check that out. That is something else. Not quite a 30, but who cares? 29.5 pound of absolute pit 5 beast. Who says you need to be 150 yards out? There's your proof. Unbelievable. What a way to end the day. Well, that's stalking for you. You don't always need to be in the middle of the lake. Just remember guys, this time of year, it's July. Keep plenty of water on these fish. Keeps them in the pristine condition that we find them in. Wow, wow, wow. Absolutely beautiful. Thank you very much, Pit 5. I'm a great believer in some things are meant to be in carp fishing. I've struggled all day long on pit 4, found the fish, struggled to get them feeding, the sun's out, the wind's dropping, terrible stalking conditions. I've moved on to pit 5 where I've been feeding the maggots, the fish are on it all over it, the wind's got up, I've managed to get a fish, and as you can see now the wind's completely dropped and the fish have moved out the corner. Well, that's the end of my day session here on the A1 pits. Hope you've enjoyed my short video. Really difficult day with a fantastic ending. Hopefully I'll be back soon with some more videos for you, looking at maybe doing a pit 3 or pit 6, fishing in heavy weed. Till then, thanks for watching. If you could like my video and subscribe to my channel, that'd help me out no end.